Check, check, 1, 2, check. Hello, Miss Mening and all of my friends. First of all, I want to introduce myself. My name is BASA Fabian Gultom. I was born in Samarinda, April 27, 1998. Right now, I'm 19 years old. And I'm industrial engineering student, but 16 at Madya University in Yogyakarta. I'm from class F, Foreign Language 2, and my student number is 9000. So in this video, I use external microphones and that smartphone tripod. I've got these tools from Alnect Store, so I want to say thank you to Alnect Store. If you don't know where the Alnect Store is located near the Suharti's Fried Chicken. You can also search it in Google Maps by yourself. So before we start the discussion part, I will say a few things to you. So I edited all of the scene in this video by myself. I recorded this video by myself. I bought the equipment by myself, but with my parents' money. So all of the process in this video is done by myself. Actually, it's a bit complicated to do this alone, but I keep the spirit for the sake of this final project. So back to the topic. So Miss Mening gave us a final project that to explain the questions based a piece of paper that given to us. So I will read the questions. Where's my questions? My paper. Wait for a minute. I'm looking for it. So I've got this paper. I will read it. So my topic is about unwanted pregnancy. And the question is, as a parent of teenagers, you can see many teenagers get pregnant before they are married. How do you prevent this from happening to your teenage children? How can parents and educators anticipate problems like this? What kind of treatment that your children need to get so they will not face such a difficult situation in the future? So I will answer all of these questions in this video. Now we are going to discussion part. To start the discussion part, I will explain first about teenager. So teenager is the transition from childhood into adulthood. In adolescence, there are many changes, such as the physical form of the body, high curiosity, like to try something new, and etc. In adolescence, they will undergo puberty, where they will have an interest in the opposite sex. Therefore, they will socialize with their fellow, and they will also hanging out together with the opposite sex, both boys and girls. In this world, there are a lot of cultural values, religions, ethnic, and other things that apply. By the time the moral values that exist in the society has changed and become weaker. From there will be promiscuity that has a negative impact on the life of the adolescents and our society. Promiscuity is the main cause of unwanted pregnancy that experienced by teenager. It can be denied that the behavior of promiscuity in adolescence is very worrying, especially to parents. There are many factors that causes the teenagers fall into that cases, such as high curiosity, like to try something new, and etc. They are the trigger factors of promiscuity. It can also caused by media factors such as internet usage, lack of parental supervisions, lack of moral and religious educations that taught by parents and teachers. When there are many causes, there are also many injuries and sufferings as a result of promiscuity that leads to unwed pregnancy. In addition, there is a great shame for them and their families towards the peoples around them. The effect of this case, such as dominoes, one effect can cause others' effect. The embarrassment that arise can cause them and their families to be ridiculed and become the gossip material for the people around them. It can cause them to become frustrated, which can lead them to suicide. Teenagers certainly psychological immature when they got married and they are not ready to undergo a new role that they will face, namely as a husband or wife and as a parent for their children. That immaturity and unpreparedness leads to various instabilities and shock in married life. Thus, the household life becomes fragile, lead to divorce, and so on. So, in this project, I've got 3 main questions that I have to answer. So, here's the first questions. I will read the first question again, and the question is, how do you prevent this from happening to your teenage children? I have 3 solutions to prevent this problem to our teenagers. First is restricting children in using electronic media and talking about sexual content in electronic media with them. Sometimes, sexual content in electronic media is related to the pregnancy cases in adolescents. Teenagers who watch a lot of sexual contents in electronic media have a big chance of getting pregnant or impregnated by someone. For example, when I open the browsers, there's a lot of sexual content advertisement on the left, on the right, on the top, and on the bottom. In this case, my role as a parent. When my children see it, I can use the existing sexual content in electronic media to educate them. For example, when I talk to my children, I say, "You are not old enough to know this. You have to leave that browser page. So if you see that again, you have to do what I said, yes?" That's my statement when I talk to my children when they see that sexual content in electronic media. Second, they can participate in positive activities. The easiest way to reduce the risk of teenagers' pregnancy is to involve and support them to participate in any positive activities. For example, sports. We can run or jog in the morning, join sport championship. We can play futsal, basketball, badminton together with friends, family, and etc. Physical activities can be a positive thing, such as increasing self-esteem, reducing stress and anxiety, and making the body healthier. Another example is music. If you like singing, you can sing a lot of songs, whether alone or with your family and friends, to reduce stress, make your days become fun, and etc. There's a lot of positive activities that you can do. The third solution is talk about sex with the children directly. Talking about sex with children is not easy. In my opinion, as a parent, we have a role to the child decisions about love, sex, and their relationship with his or her friends. Sex should be discussed openly and without blemish. This is the kind of conversations that should be done in a way. That's my preventive solutions of this problem. Now let's go to the second questions. Now I will read again the second questions, and the question is, how can parents and educators anticipate problem like this? So as a parents, we must be wiser and more cautious. It doesn't mean that parents should blame and scold them if they see negative information that isn't appropriate for them, because it will suppress their feelings and increase their desire to rebel. which ultimately makes it difficult for parents to provide the right value for them. Thus, it takes a good and appropriate communication between parents and children so that the messages and values that delivered by parents can be accepted. It's important for parents to gain trust from them because trust can't be established in a short time. Trust between children and parents can be built from an early age. If the parents have gained trust of them, then whatever happens to the child and his or her friend, surely they will tell their parents. When the child tells the story, don't ever blame the child and his or her friends frontally. We have to be a good listener and find a way out together. It's a good starting point to start a discussion with them. That way, it will be easier for parents to become friends for children. Parents also increasingly know and aware of the child environments so that parents can understand what steps and strategies that appropriate in supervising, educating, and guiding children. That's my opinion as a parent to anticipate these problems. Now we will discuss the third questions. I will remind you of the third questions, and the question is, what kind of treatment that your children need to get so they will not face such difficult situations in the future? And the answer is, give the children sex education. Education is one of the most important tools that can bring human life to a better direction. Realizing the importance of education, then education should be applied to all aspects of human life. This is similar with the sex education, which is still pros and cons. Hearing the word sex, the first impressions that appears for most people is probably something vulgar, pornographic, and taboo to discuss, especially in children. In fact, if we look at the phenomenon of adolescence today, ethics and social norms are now getting loose. So, sex education is a very important education to be taught to teenagers. The purpose of teaching sex education is as one way to reduce or prevent sexual abuse, especially to prevent the cause of negative impacts. Thus, we as a parents are expected to be the main source of information when our children ask about sex. We should explain to children that sex isn't just about fulfilling biological needs, but we also describe how the risks of unwanted pregnancy and other problems. If parents don't want to be open in terms sex of education to children, it's very worrying because the child will find out about it in other ways that have a negative impact on them. So that's my kind of treatment to my children. After we discuss about this problem, I have some advice for you, all of young generations. Because young generations is the generations that will build the nations to be better, who have far-sight thinking. To eliminate this phenomenon of adolescence, all of you as young generations can do several things. First, you can do some positive activities to improve your talents and hobbies. Second, implementing the norm that exists in your religion and your society. Third, be clever to choose your friends. You can be friends with anyone, but you must be careful if your friends have a bad character or have a bad influence for you. Fourth, extend your insight and knowledge to filter out some bad influence from the environment. And last, increase your faith and devotion by way of gratitude for your God. In short, unwanted pregnancy cases can happen to anyone. In this case, usually happens in adolescence because of many factors that encourage. For that, as a parent, we must monitor and provide the informations and educations about sex so that the children can understand more about sex and themselves. Parents have to encourage their children to do some positive activities to avoid that case. So hopefully, these cases will not happen to all of us. That's all from my videos. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you like it. I'm BASA Fabian Gultom. Until next time, goodbye.